this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobukijake.
Hi.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Indeed.
Now, I just wanted to take a quick plug. Joel Wynkoop's newest film, The Craiglang Innocent 3, is out. And if you want to check it, you should either check with him or I think Grindhouse Pictures does have a Grindhouse something. Grindhouse Movies or whatnot has some for sale. So, you should check it out. I enjoyed the first film somewhat. I'd say it was about average. And I've heard the others get even better. And I'm going to have a review for that up this week. And if you're looking for Versus Awards, the third one is not going to be for this year. But the other two are 2021 films.
Ah.
So they are up for this year, potentially.
Okay.
Potentially,
yes. And, of course, we have begun working hard to make sure that the Versus Awards are going to be even more awesome than they were last year. And even more awesome and professionally done than this year's Oscars.
So I'm putting the Versus Awards at the very top on the description below. If you aren't a member of our Facebook page, you should be for that. You can then get in on a lot of things. We throw out right now a lot of trailers and suggestions for movies. And in mid-April, we're going to be having a kind of a group town hall meeting where we discuss taking away, whatever we're doing with the awards this year, how we're going to do it, because we have a larger crowd this year participating. It's a lot harder to hand out ballots individually like we did last time. So
Right.
I've got some ideas, and come May and June, I'm going to really start us on trying to do nominations, or work towards nominations, so that we can start working it and getting this thing ready for September show. So, with that being said, let's get started. Go ahead and show us his lovely pickups.
All right. So this week I am right now at this point in time spending very little on this particular area, but I'm still getting a few pickups in here and there. And to make up the difference, I'm bringing in a few things that I hope I won't be repeating myself with that. So, but I know that I haven't presented either of these two on the channel, or I'm reasonably sure I haven't. So I'm going to kick off with a couple fun things, and then I have 3 new ones. And the first one, if we had been doing the Versus Awards when this film came out, I would have nominated this for a crapload of awards. And I know that at least a couple other members of our Academy would have done the same. So it probably would have fared even better than it did at the Oscars, where it had 5 nominations and no wins. But I'm speaking, of course, of a French film. Cue the music. No. But this is neither boring nor particularly pretentious. Just the usual level of pretentious for a French film. La Faible Destin d'Amélie Poulain, a.k.a. Amélie, by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. I do apologize for my butchery of the French language. It is not my strong suit. But this is a really, really fun movie. I love it, and I love this edition. I love the look of it. You've got that die-cut case that opens to show this. You've got tons of special features on there. I haven't watched most of them, and I really need to.
That's one that needs a Criterion.
Yes, very much so. Although Criterion often does not pick up that many of the bonus features from editions like this. I guess it must not be worth it to them to shell for ones that have rights attached. But so I may end up holding on to this. But one thing is for sure, as much as I love the look of this, I really do want to upgrade this to either Blu-ray or 4K because it is a gorgeous film with one of the best scores ever written. It should have won for the score by Jan Tiersen. And I have the soundtrack, actually. I love the soundtrack.
What was it about? That's been so long.
It's about Amélie Poulain, who's a very eccentric French girl who, I want to say she's a waitress. But I admit, she's a waitress. It's been a while for me, too. It's basically just about her adventures with various people that she meets. And it's kind of a slice of life comedy / romance, dramedy hybrid. I think that's probably the best way to put it. There is a romance element to it. There's, but a lot of it is just slice of life dealing with various eccentric people that she encounters. And it's good times.
It's odd. Whenever people want to talk of film snobbery or people who are all trendy and artsy, they almost always have a poster or something representing this one.
Okay, I'm glad you reminded me. That was one of the reasons I brought this in too, was that we mentioned this in our DMC discussion.
He had an Amélie poster in his room, essentially.
But in fairness, Amélie is one of the highest grossing films ever that is not English language. And I want to say it is the highest it's in the top 3 for French films, at least in terms of the French box office. So it's an important film in that respect, but yeah.
So I have got an all over the place assortment today. The first one is another one of those oldies double features. The Fungus Among Us and Slimoids, which is kind of cool looking there. Let's see here. So for The Fungus Among Us, 4 sexy female crooks encounter car trouble during a thunderstorm and find refuge in an abandoned house. Stripping out of their soaked clothing, the girls try to relax until the storm subsides. Little do they realize that the house is infested with a deadly fungus from another world.
Ugh.
The fungus that takes over human bodies and bends them to its will. As the girls bicker and argue, the extraterrestrial mucus sneaks up behind them, seeking to possess their nubile flesh. I mean, I have to admit that this is choice material here.
It sounds like it.
So in Slimoids...
How many Versus Awards does it sound like that would have been up for?
Hey, you never know. So Slimoids, after his sister is killed, Dan Stewart finds himself the prime suspect in a murder investigation. As more bodies start piling up, the real assailants are revealed to be 3 gruesome creatures with the ability to secrete a slime that dissolves human flesh. They are the creation of a vengeful female scientist determined to destroy mankind. It's a race to stop her as Dan and 2 world-weary detectives face off against the greatest threat to humanity in the world has ever known, the Slimoids. Yeah, I mean, looks interesting. So, hey, never know.
Right. You never know. Well, you know once you watch it, but
Who knows when that'll be.
Right. Now something else I have, of course, actually watched this a long time ago. Another thing that I have watched, and this again comes from the long since logged into the collection area. This will also make reference to one of his selections for our Movies Galore discussions. I cannot remember if we presented this set on the discussion. We may have. I know we talked about it. But I went ahead and brought in the Marx Brothers Silver Screen collection.
A good one.
Which is a very cool looking set. We did talk about the set, I know that. And of course it opens up, you got that sort of accordion opening, to show the two movies and bonus features on that side. And three movies on that side, including the one we covered, Monkey Business. And then in the middle, there's this nice big booklet that, doesn't really have all that much in it other than movie posters. And there is at least one article in there that's pretty good. But yeah, so for comparison, that's his new collection,
one,
which takes up a lot less space, but it's not quite as cool looking.
But it wears better.
Yeah, it wears better because this, frankly, you got to handle this carefully. It's not built truly for longevity, which is annoying.
But this has got the same one in color,
right? Now, granted, I'm not convinced that this is stuff that would really look essentially better on Blu-ray unless they really, really went all out, just because the quality of the film stock for most of these films was kind of crap. But they are classic films. Definitely, if you have not already, you should check out our discussion on Monkey Business. It was good times. We'll probably hit at least two of the others here sooner or later, I think. I feel like there was definitely interest in Horse Feathers and Duck Soup to hit those eventually.
Or in the other set, Night at the Opera, Day at the Races.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Night at the Opera is probably the most popular on that other set. That other set has more misses than hits on it.
I didn't bring that in because it's nowhere near as fancy, but
Oh, yeah. I want them to do one of these for that other set.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I would definitely slim that one down because it's a big, bulky set that just doesn't look that spectacular, but yeah.
So this next one is potentially up for a Versus Award. We don't know. Maybe makeup.
Nice.
Because it's a zombie film.
Oh.
And that's Black Friday.
Oh, boy.
I watched this not too long ago. So you got Bruce Campbell in it. And you got a couple of Ryan Lee.
Oh, Ivana Baquero's in that? Oh, okay. I am curious now.
Basically,
how gory is it?
It's about these people working retail at a toy store on Black Friday. Mm-hmm. And there's an alien zombie virus going around. It's kind of a mix. It's somewhat gory, like body parts, stuff like that, but it's also somewhat silly.
Well, I could deal with that.
And
I mean, come on, with Bruce Campbell and Michael Jai White. I mean,
shoot, there's a kaiju at the end of this.
Nice.
And it's it's a kaiju, basically kaiju Karen, essentially.
Oh dear God.
That's there, and somebody tries to. It's kind of funny the scene, but Bruce Campbell plays the store owner who's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And but that's okay. He's Bruce Campbell. That's how he is. And he tries his best to keep the store running, even though the zombies are in there. But eventually, they all work together to try and take it out. I am, like I say, I enjoyed it somewhat. It's not as good as some of the other ones, and it was not as good as I'd hoped it would be. But still, not a bad film. I'll keep that up for my presentation photo.
I may have to give that one a look eventually. Okay, so now starts the actual purchases, which last week you may recall that I said I would that I had been to Dollar Tree and picked up a few things. Yeah, well, $1.25. And first one, one of those Magnolia pickups, is called The Great World of Sound, which I really know very little about this, but it's essentially about a couple of guys who, they're basically talent agents for a musical label, if I'm understanding correctly, the company being called The Great World of Sound. And you've got a by Gotham Award winner for Breakthrough Director Craig Zobel. And you've also got, this was nominated for a couple of Independent Spirit Awards.
Well, they probably were spirited.
Yes. Best Supporting Male, Kane Holiday, and Best First Feature. You got Pat Healy in there and some other folks. I know, again, very little about this, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun. And it looks like it would be a really good one to watch. And as we said before, Dollar Tree seems to be one of the few places you ever see Magnolia films in the wild. So, I'd buy that for $1.
Indeed. So, this is one... Actually, no. I think Kim got me the other one. And I got this one. Which is Jay and Silent Bob Get Irish. Which is a live comedy performance between the two. Following the release of the cult classic Clerk 1994, longtime friends Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith quickly became much-loved stoner icons, with their mischievous characters going on to star in Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Clerks 2. Fast-talking, foul-mouthed Jay and his hetero life partner Silent Bob hit DVD with their highly praised, sold-out live comedy show, direct from Ireland. So, as the final leg of the previously released Jay and Silent Bob Get Old Teabagging in the UK tour. So, which by the way, I have that one as well. So it's kind of cool. I need to watch this. Just like I need to watch the other one because it's kind of fun. This is back when they were somewhat younger. So it was kind of cool. And I do like them as a pairing. It's not necessarily high art, and I wouldn't say that they were, but sometimes you just want to.
It was high art.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to put a movie like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in the player and just zone out and enjoy it.
Sometimes. And something that might actually fit in that same vibe, not quite the same, but similar. There was a show back in the day, kind of sad that we can call the 90s back in the day. There was a show that, honestly, this pickup may get replaced if I ever find a... This pickup will likely get replaced if I ever find a complete series collection, because it's just season 2. But again, for $1.25, I will buy season 2 as a placeholder, damn it. And that was a show, a workplace comedy, just like Black Friday. A workplace comedy about a photography studio starring David Spade called Just Shoot Me, which co-starred George Segal, Laura San Giacomo, Wendy Malick, and some other folks. And Laura San Giacomo was quite attractive during this time frame. It also was my introduction to Wendy Malick, who's gone on to do quite a few other things here, there, and everywhere. And, of course, we all know David Spade. This was probably near the peak of his career and influence. He's kind of faded away, I guess, since then. And basically, he is the snarky and put-upon doorman, if I remember correctly, to the boss at this photography studio. It's a fun show. I haven't seen it in years, so God knows how well it's aged. But I really enjoyed it when it was on. And like I said, I'm more than willing to have this as a placeholder until I get the complete series.
It's on my list, way down there. If I ever pick up Frasier again, of course, I want a slimmed down version. I want it to come out on Blu-ray so that it can be slimmed down on as few discs as possible.
That would be nice.
I
wouldn't mind
same thing with
condensing.
Cheers.
I wouldn't mind condensing my Frasier collection. Maybe Cheers, but definitely Frasier.
So, traditionally, I would not show a lot of boots on this show, as for the most part, I am against bootlegging. But times are changing, and I am all for physical preservation of media, unless it comes out with a proper release. And if it does, then I try to get that, especially if it's in print. This is a series that only has 2 episodes released on proper physical, which I had bought, so I technically paid to them. But that's a show called Kappa Mikey. But thanks to the disc dog, I have the whole show. And Kappa Mikey is a very weird satire of Japanese anime. I haven't watched it in years, but I remember really liking it. And basically, it features a guy named Mikey who travels to Japan to star in an anime, where he discovers his new co-stars are all basically walking anime cliches. I really liked this series, and as an anime fan, I really wanted this on official release. And one day, I'm hoping that it does get a complete official release, because I would like to get it at a above 720p. But I'm perfectly happy with what I've got on this.
All right. So my last one could very well end up ending with a whimper rather than a bang in terms of what I would enjoy. I have no idea. I haven't seen it. But our good friend Mo has definitely talked up this studio to no end. And I admit it's a studio that I am less than familiar with. So then I went to Dollar Tree and actually found a full moon release. I was like, I have to get this. And I am glad that I was able to pick one up dirt cheap so that even if it's horrible, I got it. But this one definitely for you, Mo. The Full Moon's Grindhouse Collection, Zombo. Deep in the jungles of Central Africa, a lone figure moves swiftly through the trees. Often heard, sometimes seen, but never forgotten, the legend of Zombo is about to become real. So, doesn't that just scream quality?
Oh, yeah.
And even this dude, it kind of looks like Chuck Norris, but he's probably not. Apparently, I guess that's Brad Harris. But again, I saw this and I'm like, holy crap, this is at Dollar Tree. I have to get it. And it even has a couple of special features there.
It will be yours there. So you
very
have
cool. Yes.
So I have to collect all the other Grindhouse collection movies.
I'll try and get a few of them.
I think Mo has the complete set.
Probably. He's trying.
I think he's talked about it before. So, that's an interesting set. I know some of them are out of print. So.
Right.
So last but me is kind of a Zombo, or zombie, really. And it's a video game. A video game.
A video.
So this is one that came out originally on the Xbox. And I kind of missed it because I didn't do the original Xbox or 360. Well, I did the 360 later on, and I got that for Dead Rising. But this game was kind of out of print at the time. And that is Stubbs the Zombie. they re-released this on Xbox Series X and some of the other systems now, and it's Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse. Essentially, you play as Stubbs, a zombie, in 1959 in the city of Punchbowl, Pennsylvania. And it's a beacon for progress and ideal living. Show the living that the law and order are no match for a dead man on a mission. Your boyfriend's back, Maggie, and Punchbowl is going to be in trouble. So basically, he's trying to find love and brains, and you get to be a zombie creating a zombie panic. So you get to play as the zombies essentially in a zombie movie. So in general, I've heard it's really fun, and I've heard it's entertaining. A lot of tongue-in-cheek humor there. They remastered it, made the controls a little bit nicer, and I can't wait to actually eventually play it. Of course, Elden Ring has been clogging up my Xbox for a while now, and who knows when that's going to leave, but eventually this will get.
Maybe you just need to flush it.
Yeah. Well, that's everything that we've
Yeah.
got here. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, of course, hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe and share, because sharing is caring, as they say. But I hope you're going to see us on the next.